I will say something though. This I won't do like a proper portfolio review, but I'll mention this just because it's here. I don't think there's any point of having these two together. You might as well just done one. I think it doesn't really achieve much having both TIE fighters. And I wouldn't have too much Star Wars. Yeah, the engine's insane, man. I don't think you really need anything else aside from the engine. I would give you a job over the engine. Just itself. The two tires for commission they wanted to? Okay. I mean, it's not going to hurt your portfolio or anything. I just think like just one of them is enough, right? I would just put the Intercept. I think the Intercept is cooler. I don't think this is anywhere near as good as your other assets. It might just be the texture though. Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, I guess it's the main thing with portfolios, right? Is like, this doesn't look anywhere near as good as this. Do you have your topology up here? There's topology, right? This is nice. Yeah. Where's the close-up? There's got to be a close-up, right? Here we go. Yeah, this alone will get you a job. You don't really need anything else. Yeah, this is pretty insane. That's what I mean. Like, you see like a comparison of like this to this, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is nowhere near as good. I don't think it's bad. Like, your texture is just nowhere near as good. What would be cool as well is if I am to give feedback for this, the panels are so perfect. Like having some like warble across the paneling would make it look so much better. And I think more panel breakup, like subtle details across the paneling would add so much more scale to it. At the moment, it's very bare. Yeah, show us the UVs as well. Seeing UVs would be cool. I mean, I get the guys to do this for a reason. Well, guys and girls, of course. But yeah, I always encourage a layout like this. You know, showing everything. Because at the end of the day, it's more about showing a production asset, right? Having proper breakdowns is always quite nice, you know. You don't have to do this. I don't know. But he did it. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, like having like damage across your paneling would have made it way better. Obviously, nice topology. This stuff was always quite nice. Yeah, overall, your work is good, man. It's just if I was you, yeah, I think these are nowhere near as good as your engine. Okay, so this is the thing, right? Like, imagine I have received your portfolio. There's no room for you to tell me this stuff, right? I'm literally looking at what I've just been given, right? And I'll make my assumptions. What I would personally do, I think there's nothing wrong with having all this stuff on your ArtStation. This is my opinion, I like the fact of having, I like having my own domain. To me, it just looks more professional. I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, but to me, having your own domain is more professional. And on your own domain, I would only put the engine, and that's it. Because this is nowhere near actually this is okay. I would put this TIE fighter and your engine. That's all I would put on. I think this is nowhere near the quality that you can produce. See, this doesn't bother me, but then this one does. Yeah, it's just, like, I know you can do better. Like, based on but this is the thing, right? When you see such contrast of skill, it makes you question the person's eye. Yeah, honestly, if I was you, if I was you applying for a job, I would have my own custom domain, or I would hide the other ones. Because this just isn't as good as what you can do. How long would you have been given to, wait, so to make this engine in production. I've never made an engine this detailed in my life. This is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. It depends. If you have to match it to something like 100%, it's obviously way more work. But if we can fake it, a lot of it, you would obviously do it in like a third of the time. Yeah, Izan, how long did you spend on this? Out of curiosity. This one's 100% accurate? Jesus Christ. You did this in 1.5 months. I'm actually pretty impressed by that. Wait, you spent longer texturing than modeling? That's crazy. I would have assumed the model would have carried the texture way easier. Oh, 5 months. Okay. I was like, 1.5 months. That's insane. That's actually... Oh, 1.5 months for UVs. I see. Shit. I would at this point just said fucking just auto UV'd most of this, honestly. I would, aside from the pipes, I would have probably just auto UV'd it. There's so much model detail, it wouldn't have mattered. Just, I would have only UV'd the pipes using the Unify UV method, and then just auto UV'd everything else. Obviously, I would have laid it out in logical ways based on materials, right? But I think, for example, if we were at work and we actually had to do this, you wouldn't have the time to spend a month and a half doing UVs. You would get like a week max. But yeah, it's very impressive, man. There is a bit of a hidden issue with something like this, where if the portfolio I don't know. I feel like, for example, it might make people question. Say, for example, you have a portfolio piece that took like a year to make. You would never get a year to make something, right? It also kind of, it can be an issue where it's like, it's so complex that it's too complex for what we would actually do as a job. I mean, obviously the engine looks amazing, right? But I wouldn't do every portfolio piece a year-long effort. Like, I think this is a good piece to like catch your eye, and then maybe your other portfolio pieces would be like maybe 3 months long instead of like this long. I remember like a recruiter mentioning this like long before I got into the industry, like saying like someone had done this aircraft carrier so complex, but they spent a year on it, and it's cool, but it's like no one would actually get a year to build an aircraft carrier in our job. I think this is an awesome like catch your eye piece, but then your portfolio pieces from now on, I would not spend more than like 3 months making them. When I say 3 months, I mean like 3 months of intense work. I don't mean like, say for example, my plane I've been working on, it's been going for like a year, but that year is probably maybe like 2 months of actual work, not a year of actual work, if that makes sense. So when you say like it took you, what might even be a good idea, and this is for everyone if they want to do this, like actually track your time, and then you actually get a real representation of how long this took. So if you say this took you like 5 months to model, but you only spent like 50 hours a month on it, it actually didn't take you 5 months. It only took you like 1 month, if that makes sense. I think that's something maybe people should consider, is like actually tracking their hours. So when they are asked like how long this took, you can give like an accurate representation of how long it took, and not like shoot yourself in the foot by saying, like, I wouldn't tell people I spent a year making my plane, because it wasn't a year of actual work. Because the way it works at work is, say for example, say we're given, let's say 5 days to do a task. It's not 5 24-hour days, it's 5 8-hour days. So it's only a 40-hour task. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's just, because I've seen the Death Star from like the films, and it's just still nowhere near the quality needed to be seen this close. It's just still missing so much detail. It's still cool, but it's not, I don't think it's up to scratch for film, if that makes sense. Should we really hire this guy? I think he's nuts. Yeah, fair enough. But no, I think this one portfolio piece can get you a job for sure. I think what's actually really good about doing this as well, and I think is one of the reasons why I also tell people to do real world things, is I'm sure you must have learned a lot about different materials on this one asset, right? And this is why I tell people to build from the real world, right? Because it means you're forced to learn about the subject matter that you're working on. I'm sure you must have learned so much about the variety of materials used to build this engine, right? And then you can take this knowledge forward and apply it to whatever you build in the future that's not from the real world, right? Did you break these pieces down afterwards? Because you have an amazing kit bash library now. Man, this is so intense, man. Like, what is this? I would never build anything this complex, man. That's just me, though. Yeah, man, you're literally set for life as far as a kit bash library goes. You have unlimited bolts and rivets. You have unlimited connections of like cables and like pipes and stuff like that. You have so much. If I was you, you could even do this if you want. I would break this down and sell it. You could literally sell all these components as an amazing library. It's up to you though. You don't obviously have to do this. Yeah, it's very cool, man. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Aside from that, I don't know what else I'd say about your portfolio. I would just say like this stuff is just so... These three are just so different to the quality of work you can produce. And what you could do, like hypothetically, if you were to do this idea of having a separate, like you have this for fun, right? You post your work, but you have like a website where you actually only show your best. I would probably have this as one project, and then I would combine these two into one project. So you just have these two essentially. Like all this is very cool. So I would just put both of these into one project. I think people have seen the TIE Fighter made a million times. I don't think something like this would stand out at all. It's definitely this which stands out for sure. The two tires were meant for large scale 3D printing. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, I just don't think like maybe this is a cool like experimentation sort of thing, right? But I just don't think this belongs anywhere near the quality of, what is this? It belongs anywhere near the quality of what you're already producing with your other stuff. But yeah, man, that's my thoughts on your portfolio. Obviously nothing personal. Like, I guess that's the main thing with these portfolio reviews, right? I'm just reviewing what's sitting in front of me. It's never like an attack on the person themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a little hesitant about doing the portfolio reviews, because I know I can be pretty blunt and direct, but it's always like literally just breaking down objectively what's in front of me. It's never like a personal attack or anything like that. And I feel that's something that people need to kind of get used to, the fact that people will rip your work apart at work, and it's never anything personal, right? Yeah, there's no point of having the thing twice, but yeah. But yeah, very cool stuff, man.